Oh, who's procrastinating again? This girl's procrastinating again. Good job, Olivia. Really doing the adulting thing right, for sure. Good job. I'm back. Hello. Yes, so I'm talking. I'm a mess. Oh, thank you for thank you for supporting my procrastination. I was going to do the unboxing live, but a lot of people, it was really, really close, and a lot of people were kind of like, no, I live for B-roll. So I thought that'd be fun to release that later in the week. But today I'm talking about Christian witches because I get a lot of you messaging me about Christian witchery and asking me how to go about that and how that goes. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll try to live stream at a different time some other time, but it's like 5:30 my time, and I'm sure it's not 5:30 in Poland, so I'm so sorry. But yes, so Christian witches is something that gets a lot of bad raps on both sides. A lot of people will come to me and say, "Oh, I'm a Christian, but I want to get a little witchier," and I'm getting backlash, obviously, from my Christian friends, family, whatever. And then I'm also getting backlash from the witchy community of like, you can't be Christian. And so I want to say that that's not true. You can, a lot of you know that witchcraft is a practice. It's not a religion. It's easy to mold it into a religion, but it's not a religion. I should tell you that I'm drinking iced tea. I made some sun tea, and it's some kind of rose green tea. I have no idea. Yes, Catholic people are so witchy. Yes, green tea, green rose tea. I made it. I just set it out in the sun and let it brew, and then put it in my fridge and put some ice in it later. So, all right. So thank you for my teacup. Got it at the dollar store. Okay, so yes, Christian witchery. Just let me choke on my tea for a second. I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah. So if you think about it, okay, so old time witchcraft, the technical term, especially after, when Christianity came through and all like the whole witchy thing happened, or the whole witch hunt thing, the witch hunts and everything happened, that the actual, I'm losing my train of thought. There's like 20 things in my head. The actual definition of witchcraft was to essentially act without God. So if you take God out of the equation, it would be in older terms witchcraft. So that's the thing, is this is olden terms. So if I were to say, God bless my food, or God bless my tea, then it's not witchcraft. But immediately if I say, I bless my tea, or I ask spirits to bless my tea, then immediately becomes witchcraft. So in the olden days when Christianity was taking over, that is kind of the the definition of witchcraft, is what they would say is they would, if you took God out of the equation, then it was witchcraft. So again, bless this house, God bless this house, not witchcraft. But the second you say, I bless this house, my spirits, my ancestors bless this house, then in those days, that was witchcraft. Modern witchcraft is anything with intention, because a lot of people are coming away from the church, which, that's just a spirituality in all different ways go in and out of waves like this. So, there's nothing really good or bad about people going away or going back into church, but modern witchcraft is anything with intention. So if you're doing something with intention, if you have an intention within it, so if you're cooking a soup for a sick friend with the intention of making them feel better, then you're putting that energy and those vibrations into cooking the soup. And the idea is that you are giving that off to the sick friend, and that is kind of that passing on of energy. So, you're manipulating the natural energies around you in order to better your situation. So that would be modern witchcraft. So really, there's a lot going on in those comments over there. So really, yeah, so like anything with kind of intention, which is why a huge thing right now is the law of attraction or mindsets or things like that, because you if you use self-deprecating humor, for instance, if I'm walking around and I'm just saying like, oh, it's because I'm stupid, or oh, it's just I'm really ugly, you're saying those things. Your words have vibrations, your thoughts, your brain is so incredibly powerful that it makes thoughts that you are constantly making, it makes habits in your brain easier. So essentially, if I'm thinking, it's because I'm ugly, then your brain is going to be like, oh, well, that's a common from point A to point B. And your brain is going to make it easier to get there, right? So that's a thing that, that's kind of like a scientific thing that your brain makes it easier for you to create habits, whether that be a thinking pattern, whether that be waking up at 6 a.m. If you start doing this repetitively, you're going to be creating something separately. So the same thing, your voice has vibrations, your voice has energy. So when you're speaking certain things, especially when you're speaking something with a solid intention in it, it has a lot of effect. So, if you look at somebody on the road and you say, hello, how are you? You look nice, that is going to give them a different vibration than, hi, how are you? You look nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you have a vibration, and you can manifest those different things just with that little tweak. And even though you don't mean to know that, or you don't mean that, or you don't completely understand that, a lot of people don't, they have that power. And that's why, somebody can say one little thing to you that day and you're like, why did that come off that way? Or maybe, why did that make me feel so happy? Maybe somebody just said like, oh, hi, you look really nice on the bus. You have no idea who this person is. And you're just like, that's really nice. It's because that person intended you to feel better about it. They sent that energy out and into the vibrations of their words. So this is where prayer comes in, right? So, but that's another thing is modern or traditional, which the traditional definition of witchcraft back in the days when Christianity was taking over, of course, there's that, like I was saying, that witchcraft was only when you took God out of it. But here's the weird thing. It's only if you take the Christian God out of it. But if you put in any other god, it's still witchcraft compared to Christianity. I mean, in those times, of course. So, if you use a different god, if it's not just the Christian God, then is that still witchcraft? So there's just a lot of different thoughts. And what I'm trying to do, I'm not trying to make you think this is what I believe, this is right. What I want you to do, I want you to take everything that I'm saying with a grain of salt and go out and do your own research. Cross-reference what I'm saying with other people, with other practitioners, with other YouTubers, with other books, and other things that you're reading on the internet, and find your own conclusions. Understand why you understand or why you believe something. So, I mean, if I'm saying that this is what I believe, that's great. That's all dandy. But I want you to cross-reference things and I mean, like, find other opinions that combat mine and see which one makes more sense, because you never know. But anyway, we're getting a little off track. Let me just... So, Christian witches. So again, anything with intention. So what are you doing when you are, praying at night? I pray to God, I pray to spirit, the universe, whatever. If you're a Christian witch, you can absolutely use God and the Holy Trinity in your practice. Okay, the Bible, one of my practitioners that I don't remember, one of the practitioners that I've known, she said the Bible is one of the most powerful spell books. She's not Christian and she's not Catholic, but she said the Bible is one of the most powerful spell books because there is a spell in there for everything. You know, protection, for love, for kindness, for forgiveness, for power, for strength. There's really, you know, I think don't call me out, one of my practitioners. But yeah, there's a spell in there for everything. And if you look at especially a lot of New Orleans hoodoo, there's yes, exactly. Yeah, all of those are spells, exactly. And if you look at a lot of hoodoo spells, all of them, not all of them, but like a huge amount of them all ask that you say a Bible verse. And I think that's really interesting because you're calling upon that higher power. And then also, Catholicism. I mean, Catholicism is so witchy. And I know I say that all the time, but it's true because they have the altar, they have all the candles, they have all the saints that they pray to. They have the chalice and they have the robes and they have the communion. And it's very witchy and it's basically a coven, you know? And I think it's funny that, you know, they see witchcraft with such an evil light when really they're kind of doing it themselves, you know? Yeah, and so I just think it's interesting that and sad that a lot of Christian witches get kind of the tough side from both their own religion and their own practice all at the same time. And it's kind of like, you know, we don't want you and neither does the other side. And it's okay. It's really awful because that's really displacing of other people. And yeah, so I just want, if you're watching either now or if you're watching the replay of it, just know that if you are a Christian witch and if that's your religion right now, that's fine. And I think you can absolutely use the Holy Trinity in your practice. That's the whole point, is calling upon a higher power, whether that be your higher consciousness if you're not religious, that be the Holy Trinity if you are, that be any of the saints or any of the any kind of deities that you work with or your ancestors. It's just, I don't want people to think that their religion should limit them because, again, especially modern witchcraft is really just doing something with intention and trying to manipulate that energy to create a better situation for yourself. But yes. Oh, crackling murmur. Yes. Baptism is literally a cleansing and protection spell. That's exactly. Well, I mean, it's cleansing you of sin. Yeah. And essentially it's a cleansing ritual. You're cleansing yourself of the sin. And yeah, I think that's a really interesting way to see it. That's really cool. Yes, so that's the difference though, is, I mean, Christians inherently believe that we're evil, but you know, that's just kind of like, that's just part of the religion. And if that's something that you believe, then that's, you know, like that's what you believe. And I'm not here to tell anybody that they're wrong for believing something or that they're whatever they believe in is disproven or whatever. Like I'm yay, more blabbering. Oh, I'm glad I'm glad that you enjoy it. But you know, the thing is what I want this channel to be is I don't want it to be only these type of people can be here, because even people that message me sometimes are saying, I'm not even a practitioner. You know, I'm here and I love that. And really it's just like, I just want you to find the thing that makes your life better, that you feel like makes you a better person, that enriches your life, that makes you, open your eyes to the beautiful things that we have in this world. And it's really, I want to feel more woke. I'm still learning, okay? I'm just a 22-year-old chick with a laptop that's telling you what I believe and what I've learned so far. And I absolutely do not expect you to believe everything I'm saying. And I would rather have you take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt and try to disprove it. Or, I want you to question me. And yeah, curious insight. That's all it is. But I want you to go out and make your own opinions. I want you to make your own beliefs. I want you to understand the world around you the way you understand it best. And that's it. That's all I want. I just want this to enrich your life, whether that be through a practice, whether that be through a religion, whether that be through simply just intentional living, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I don't care what people call it or whatever. I just think that as long as it works for them, it should work for them, and they shouldn't expect it to work for anybody else, if that makes any sense. No, it's not whiskey. Oh, I could get down with some whiskey though. I'm a whiskey and wine girl for sure when I'm not drinking tea. But no, this is iced rose sun tea. It's a green tea. So, whew. That was a lot of talking, Olivia. If you didn't see on my Instagram, I tried to pronounce words from other languages, and it did not go well. So if I tried to pronounce a word from your language and I butchered it, which I probably did, I'm so sorry. I apologize. Yeah, okay. But whiskey and tea go together so good. Oh, also, I know for Yule, I want to make a whole video, not a whole video, but like a video about mulled wine, or mulled wine is just so good. I have it for Yule all the time, for Christmas, and especially for just fall days. Mulled wine is just the best. But take a shot every time she says tea. All right, now you're drunk now. What are my top 3 teas? That's a really good question. I don't know. I love jasmine tea. I love chai, and I don't know. I like black teas and green teas. I think those are my top. Did you actually take a shot? I hope so. I hope you did. So yeah, that's kind of like my thoughts on Christian witchcraft. I think it's the word witchcraft, obviously, that freaks people out. So if you're going around and you're like, I'm a Christian witch, everybody's like, what does that mean? But if you're like, oh, I'm a Christian and I have a lot of Christian rituals, or I'm very spiritual. I think that's a little different when instead of saying like, I'm a Christian witch, because then people are like, wait, what? But essentially, being witchy and being spiritual are pretty much the same thing, in my opinion, just because, again, being spiritual is trying to unlock yourself to all of the other unseen, unknown things of this world and of this universe, and and a lot of people try to unlock different things of different realms. And I just think that's the same thing as being witchy and spiritual. But that's my that's my 2 cents. So yes, all we know is nothing. That is completely and absolutely true. Because, okay, I'm going to go on a tidbit or a little rant, as I do. But Alex, so he's a personal trainer. My boyfriend's a personal trainer, and he had to go through training for, like scientific ways on how the body works and how exercise and stretching and diet and all these different things work in order to interact with the body and X, Y, and Z, and like how different, how different people work with different diets and different exercises and things like that. And so he's been personal training for a while now, and it's just funny because he's always coming back and he's like, they are literally changing the courses because everything is being disproven. They were teaching things in school, they were teaching things in these courses, and now they're saying, just kidding, everything's wrong, and now teaching the opposite. And so it's just really funny because science as we know it is still completely changing. It's just flip-flopping, and if you look at a lot of studies in the past, like 10, 15 years, which isn't really a long time for scientific studies, if you look at those, things have changed like back and forth. People are like, coffee is awful for you, it's so bad, and then they're like, actually the caffeine is really good. No, just kidding, it's actually really bad. Actually, coffee's not all that bad. It's funny because you'll find these scientific, they do studies, but you'll find all of these different researchers about the same thing that are two completely different sides. And it's just funny because it's just back and forth, and they're like constantly teaching one thing in the field of health, of what you should and shouldn't be eating, of how you should be exercising if you have this kind of body of metabolism or whatever. And then they're teaching the opposite 5 years later, 10 years later, saying that they're like, just kidding, everything we said last time was wrong. Listen to, actually, it's this one. So it's just kind of funny that, that's what it is. I saw something about the placebo effect. I don't know what you said, but I think it's really funny that people will tell me, oh, the law of attraction, or oh, spells, it's just the placebo effect. It's just your brain. So how is that not cool? How is that not amazing that if I do a spell to make my body feel better, or if I give somebody a sugar pill and then later say, just kidding, it's the placebo effect, they still heal themselves, like physically, and they still will create more dopamine. Like if they give a sugar pill to somebody and say, this will make you happier, and it works, how is that not cool? Even if it's science or just the placebo effect, how is that not amazing that the fact that like we are able to do that? How is that not cool? Even just because it's been proven that it's the placebo effect, just because, my crystal, it isn't actually doing X, Y, and Z. Maybe it's just the placebo effect. How is that not really freaking cool? How is that not amazing that my mind can do that, that your mind can do that? How is that not cool? Yeah, exactly. So cool. It's so cool. But yeah, I think it's cool. And I don't think that, I think the placebo effect is real, of course, but I don't think that makes it any less magical that we're able to physically heal our bodies. We're able to actually create the certain chemicals and hormones in our minds by pure will. That's not magic. That's not cool. So what? We learned to fly and leave the earth and get from Los Angeles to New York in 6 hours. Like, you go back hundreds of years and they're going to tell you you're fucking crazy. But here we are. And nowadays, if that's magic. It's science, but it's magic. Science and magic are kind of the same thing. And my belief, my personal belief, is that magic is simply a science that we do not understand. And I still think that even science that we have proven, that we have figured out, is still fucking magic. I still think that's really cool. So, like, plants photosynthesize. They take energy from the sun and just grow. How's that not cool? You know, I think that's really ridiculously awesome. And this world is just amazing, and I think it's just that we've grown up with it and we've numbed ourselves to it, not like intentionally or in a bad way, but you know, I just think that that's kind of cool. Universes, how did we get to this topic? Because I ramble. This literally started off with me talking about Christian witches, and here we are. So, but Lewis, no, I think you're right. I feel like that's my only issue with structured religion. And I actually had a conversation with somebody on Instagram that was kind of, it was nice, because he was telling me, you know, like, I want to believe in this Christian God. But the thing is, you know, I feel like this structured religion, the church itself, the people that have created these black and white rules for this, you know, don't accept me. And he was saying, I feel like this God accepts me, but they don't. And I think that's really upsetting, you know, that it's like Christianity in truth really is based in a lot of like forgiveness and love. But when you look at the church itself, not all churches are like this. I actually went to a very wonderful church, but you know, when you go to the church, sometimes it's kind of like, oh, love everybody as yourself, but then turn away the people that we think are wrong. You know, that's hypocrisy. And it's just, we're human and we're trying to make the best of it, but we're human. So what can you do, you know? But yes, yeah. I just hope that all the, you know, if you're a Christian witch, or if you are kind of having that struggle, don't try to get, you know, both sides of the stories and come to your own conclusion, because in the end, it's all what you make it, you know, it's all what you make it. But sorry, I'm just like reading all your comments. Yeah, but I don't know. I wish that you Christian witches didn't feel so alone, because, you know, it just sucks. It sucks that you kind of feel backlash from both sides. And I don't think that that's right, because Christianity should love all as their neighbor and as themselves. And, you know, a lot of people don't do that. And then the witch community, I mean, we're all misfits in the best of ways, but, you know, we're all trying to figure out our own path and understanding that there's something else, that something called us, that there is something, you know, different about the way we see things or whatever. And some people want the witchcraft side of everything, and some people don't follow that path, and that's fine. But it's just kind of like, because the witch community is so broad, I don't think anybody should be judged by the witchy community. Like, it's the whole community that's been judged our whole lives. That's silly to be judged our whole lives and then all of a sudden turn around and be like, now you're judged, you know? But that's another thing too. Oh, that's good. Your boyfriend is Catholic and knows that you're into witchcraft and still accepts me. Good. That's really nice. See, and that's fine. That's totally fine that you know, he believes something else. My boyfriend is Christian, and he always is like, I don't understand it, and I think you're kind of strange, but that's okay, because that's how you are. You know, like, there's nothing wrong with that. And I accept what he believes, and he accepts what I believe, and that's totally fine. So yes, there was something else I was going to say, but I completely forgot, and I'm so procrastinating. It's been 30 minutes, and I'm just like, it's fine. What was I saying? You guys, What was I saying? What if you're scared to cast a spell? So do protection spells on yourself, because in that way you're not really you're just having that intention to protect yourself. You're not trying to cast on anything or on anybody, hopefully, or you're not really manipulating a situation. You're just kind of manipulating the energy around you to put up that protection. And I feel like protection spells and wardings are really good ways to start. But yes. Yeah, I know everybody thinks it's a whiskey, and that's why I'm like going up on all these tangents. I'm like getting drunk. Listen here, everybody. I swear it's just tea. Or is it? Yes. So what was I saying though? There was something so, like, I was ready to go on another tangent about Christian witches, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was. Ooh, let's see. Simple protection spells. So, because we're on the topic of Christian witches, if you are a Christian witch, then call upon your Christian God or the Holy Trinity to help protect you and bring you protection throughout the day, and or any of your ancestors, your spirits, or your deities that you work with. But if you're like me and you don't work with any spirits or deities or gods or anything like that, then grounding is a really good way to do that, and visualizing something. So I really like to offer spells that you don't need tools with. So, I mean, if you visualize, or if you visualize, what is it? Like a wall of protection, or like a bright light, or like whatever that looks like to you around you, and just kind of meditating on that and visualizing that or imagining that, whatever you want to, in your mind's eye, whatever fits best for you. That's kind of the best way to do that. And it's really simple too. And the more you do it, the easier it will come. And then that's a good way. I do that actually a lot because I'm really introverted. So when I go out to public places, or when I'm meeting people, or when I'm going to my day job, I always have to put up that like little boundary type of thing, because my energy is always very low when it comes to interacting with people. And yeah, I want to keep my battery as full as possible, but putting up that little protection is kind of like an easy way for me to not drain my battery as quickly, if that makes any sense. But yeah. Oh, Silver Witch, I'm sorry about your off day, but I hope our little chat can make you feel a little bit better. Yeah, so, oh man, I still cannot for the life of me remember what I was going to say about, it was like forever ago. Oh, whatever is your name. I like that. Are Ouija boards used in witchcraft? So they can be. So if you are doing a lot of spirit communication and that's your preferred tool, then you can. A lot of people think, oh, if I buy a Ouija board, then the spirit's included. And just a board with some letters. It's just a way for you to communicate. It's a tool. So if you wanted to, you could use pendulums, you could use tarot cards, you could use runes, you could use any kind of form of divination to communicate with spirits, but Ouija boards are just a very direct way. That's all. Yeah. Oh, my pentagram? It's my sticks. I collected sticks and I made my pentagram. Yeah, so I was curious on how I use my plants in my home. Actually, a lot of my plants are just for joy. Just because I like them. Sometimes they are, like, if they're herbs, there's like a old wives' tale or like a superstition that if you plant lavender and or rosemary at your door, which I have outside of my living room, my living room, my house, like right outside my door. It's supposed to bring you protection of the home. So, but I also just really like growing plants. So that's all. Yeah. But what crystal am I wearing, Jordan? It is howlite. I like howlite. Yeah. But anyway, yes, I have book suggestions. I actually have a book review coming up Wednesday for you, but I guess I just couldn't wait, so I popped in on Saturday. So hey, but yes, let's see. So yeah, that's kind of all I had to say today. I just wanted to like throw in there that everybody is welcome in this community. You know, it doesn't matter to me what you do or don't believe, or if you agree with my beliefs or my opinions or not. You know, I want everybody to be able to have just kind of like a safe little place to be able to talk about what they, you know, what their experiences are. Or I just don't want you to feel alone, because the walking the path, or your own, especially your own path, I mean, like, it's your own path, is really, it's lonely sometimes, especially if you don't have like an offline group or coven or whatever, and it's kind of lonely. So yeah, Zodiac girl, you know, I'm just trying to make you know, a place that I wanted when I was learning, because it was lonely. And I wish I had English. I wish I had something like this that I could have gone to and asked, especially people of different beliefs and different backgrounds. That's so valuable. Growing up in different religions and cultures and beliefs and superstitions, that is so incredibly valuable to learn from other people that not only do you not understand, but that especially people that you don't that you disagree with. If you are learning about something, I highly recommend learning about something from the side that you disagree with. Does that make sense? Because then you're like, you have to challenge yourself. I think that's a really, that's a really important part of learning about anything, not just spirituality. I just think anything in general. But yes, so yeah, Christian witches, Catholic witches, witches of all kinds, practitioners, whatever you want to call yourself. If you feel lonely, don't, because there's a lot of you, believe me. And I know that it feels like there's not, but I promise you there is. And yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say today. I really need to edit my videos. I have a lot of videos to edit for you. But yeah, other than that, I'm just stalling. I actually don't want to leave, but I really should. So yeah. But anyway, again, you guys, if you want, there is a forum community that you can join. It's on my website, thewitchofwonderlust.com. On the forums, it's free to sign up, so you don't have to pay anything to join the conversation. And you can talk about all sorts of things. If you have a suggestion on what, if you need like any other things to talk about, if you're like, there's not a category for me, let me know and I will add it for you. And there's even a book club for June, an online book club. There's PDFs provided. So if you go on the forum and then go to books and resources, there's a book club, and there's 2 different books that you can choose. And yes. So yeah, there's a whole online coven essentially, and community that you can join, and just go ahead and add yourself for free and interact with everybody and say hi. I'm always lurking on there, so hopefully we'll run into each other. And wherever you are, have a wonderful day, morning, afternoon, night, wherever you are. And yes, yeah, I will see you next time, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my tea. All right, it was wonderful to talk to you. Yeah, I'm done talking. It was wonderful to talk to you guys, and I will see you on Wednesday for that book review. And until next time, see you next time. Wow, can I say next time enough? Take a shot. Woo, bye.